it is a well-known fact that if your diabetes is not diagnosed, especially if it's type 1 diabetes, it can be fatal. You can die. And I just simply did not know, that what is happening with me.
Mm.
I'm in the hospital and they are poking me and they're doing something, and my parents are upset. And my parents went on the side and, they were
Yeah.
really upset with something. I could see that it is something serious, but nobody had told me what is happening exactly. And for an 8-year-old child, when I saw my parents crying for the first time, I thought, oh my God, even like bade log bhi rote hain, like that kind of thing. Like the doctors explained to them what it is. And then my mother came and told me, you know what, you have something called juvenile diabetes.
Mm.
So us time mein type 1 diabetes was called juvenile diabetes because like they thought it happened only in children.
Mm.
So I said, okay. I mean, I didn't know what is juvenile, what is diabetes. And then
Yeah.
my mother said, you have to take injections every day. So I said, okay, fine. Don't worry, mom. And my mother said, nee, nee, beta, you don't understand. You have to take injections every day, each time you're eating for the rest of your life. So
Damn.
I said, fine. I don't care. It's okay.
Hello, this is your host Meenakshi Srivastava, also known as My Boho Voyage, and I welcome you to another awesome episode of Inspiring Explorers. Inspiring Explorers is all about inspiring you with the inspiring life journeys of our amazing guests and also share and talk about some of their travel experiences that are not limited to sightseeing. For this episode of Inspiring Explorers, we have an inspiring explorer who has been living with type 1 diabetes since the last 25 years. Nupur Lalwani was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when she was only 8 years old. Now, what is a type 1 diabetes? A type 1 diabetes is thought to be caused by an autoimmune reaction in which the body attacks itself by mistake, which in turn destroys the cells in the pancreas that make insulin, also called as beta cells. A type 1 diabetics need to take 4 to 6 injections daily and test sugars on a glucometer 5 to 7 times daily to be able to survive. For 8-year-old Nupur, this should have been a devastating news, but she took it super positively and wasn't scared by diabetes. In fact, she believes people living with type 1 diabetes can have as much fun as the people who don't have diabetes, that it's totally normal and people should not limit themselves even if they have diabetes. Today, Noor is the founder, director of Blue Circle Diabetes Foundation, which is an NGO and support group for people living with diabetes in India. She is also a writer, coach, motivational speaker, certified diabetes educator, and certified insulin pump trainer. She runs marathons and ultra marathons, and recently she successfully completed the 100-kilometer Oxfam Trail Walker as part of India's first type 1 diabetic team. She also enjoys MMA, mixed martial arts, and is a strong advocate for women's health and empowerment too. She's a true role model for many. All the links to the Blue Circle Diabetes Foundation, as well as to connect with me and Noopur, are mentioned in the description box below. Please do go check them out. And also to check me out on Instagram, I'm there as My Boho Voyage, MYBOHOVOYAGE. Also, you can watch our episodes on my YouTube channel, My Boho Voyage. All the links are mentioned in the description box below. If you're watching this or any other episode on YouTube, then please do subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so that you can stay updated whenever I post a new video. Do check me out on Instagram to catch me and my guests go live on Instagram and Facebook. If you're listening to this episode on Spotify, please follow, and if on Apple Podcasts, then please subscribe and please leave a review about the show because it helps me bring you more awesome episodes. This episode is very important because this episode helps us spread awareness about diabetes, which many of us do not know about. What is type 1 diabetes? What can people do about it? What can people do to avoid being type 2 diabetic? And etc. And I request you to please share it with anyone you know who has diabetes or who you think can benefit from the knowledge of diabetes. You can support the Blue Circle Diabetes Foundation by buying their products or by sharing this episode as much as you can to support us spread awareness about diabetes. So, without any more delays, let me welcome our super amazing guest for today, Noopur Lalwani. Welcome to Inspiring Explorers, Noopur. So glad to have you on our show.
Thank you, Meenakshi. Thank you so much. It's wonderful to be here with you today. Thanks for
Super
organizing.
glad to, super glad to have you too. So, like Nupur, you are the founder and director of the Blue Circle Foundation, and you have been doing a lot of work relating to diabetes. And you also have the type 1 diabetes. So, when was the first time that you got to know that you also have diabetes?
So, Meenakshi, I was a child. I was only 8 years old when I got diabetes. And when I got diabetes, everybody, including my parents and neighbors, family, everybody was shocked because they said, "बच्चों को diabetes नहीं होता. Children cannot have diabetes, and it's not possible only."
Hmm.
Even at some of the doctors were also surprised that the child has diabetes. So it was a big shock for everyone, but I think I'm lucky to have a very supportive family, and my mother, father, and sister have been extremely supportive, and throughout, I've never really had much of a problem. So it goes back to when I was 8 years old.
Cool. I mean, 8 years is a time when a child doesn't even understand a lot of other things, and then you get diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. So, like, what were the changes that got into your life as a kid when you got to know that you have type 1 diabetes? Like you said, they were all shocked. So, how worried they were, and what changes that brought in your life?
So it was a little. I mean, I like to find the humor in even in sad or boring situations, because that's how I keep myself entertained and motivated. So what I found funny was that so basically the symptoms of diabetes, especially of type 1 diabetes, are one is excessive weight loss, two is frequent urination, drinking a lot of water, feeling very hungry. So you're eating like maybe double, triple of the food, but you're losing weight. So my parents thought that ठीक है, it's a growing child and she's playing for 3-4 hours. Maybe that is why she's losing weight, or she's growing tall or whatever. And so that happened, and we didn't know that kids can have diabetes. We had no idea. And then my father noticed each time I would go to the washroom, near the WC, there would be black ants. So my father said her sugar has urine and she's got diabetes. And then, my mother was shocked. She said, "No, no, no, how can she have diabetes? How can you say your daughter has diabetes? This is not possible." So we said, "Okay, let's go for a blood test." We
Hmm.
went for a blood test, and the pathology lab said, "ठीक है, don't worry, it's nothing, all well." So then my father, he luckily, at that point, if my father would have let it be, I would not be here today, Meenakshi, with you, because there it is a well-known fact that if your diabetes is not diagnosed, especially if it's type 1 diabetes, it can be fatal. You can die.
Hmm.
So at that point, thank God, my father did not believe them. He said, "Nothing doing, you test again." So we
Hmm.
tested again, and then my sugar was 636. So a normal person's sugar is somewhere around 80 to 100.
Hmm.
Mine was more than 6 times that amount. And
Oh.
the person who was at the pathology lab, he said, "I don't know how this child is standing. मतलब अब तक वो गिर जानी चाहिए थी.
Hmm.
You better take her to a hospital. I can't guarantee क्या होगा."
Hmm.
So then we rushed to the hospital, and we went there. I got admitted, and I just simply did not know, that what is happening with me.
Hmm.
I'm in the hospital, and they are poking me, and they're doing something, and my parents are upset, and my parents went on the side, and they were really
Yeah.
upset with something. I could see that it is something serious, but nobody had told me what is happening exactly. And then I went to sleep because it was late in the night. I woke up the next day, and I mean, still my parents were upset. They were crying. And for an 8-year-old child, when I saw my parents crying for the first time, I thought, oh my God, even like bade log bhi rote hain, like that kind of thing. Like I was very guilty. I was feeling very upset, not because I was ill or because I was in the hospital. I was feeling upset because why are my parents upset? That was
Yeah.
uh, my main concern. And then after some time, I was really bored. I wanted to go home. I kept telling my mother, "Take me home, take me home." She said, "Nahi, nahi." Then she bought me some Nancy Brews and some books and other things. You sit and read it. So I did
Hmm.
that. And finally, when they had some time, after all the things that they were doing, my The doctors explained to them what it is, and then my mother came and told me, you know what, you have something called juvenile diabetes.
Hmm.
So उस time में type 1 diabetes was called juvenile diabetes because like they thought it happened only in children.
Hmm.
So I said, okay. I mean, I didn't know what is juvenile, what is diabetes. And then
Yeah.
my mother said, you have to take injections every day. So I said, okay, fine. Don't worry, mom. And my mother said, nee, nee, beta, you don't understand. You have to take injections every day, each time you're eating for the rest of your life. So
Damn.
I said, fine, you know, I don't care. It's okay. And luckily, even as a child, I was never scared of injections or needles. Matlab, I mean, it was just a 1 minute thing for me.
Hmm.
So for me, it was still okay. You know, I didn't want my parents to be upset or sad or anything. But for my parents, it was a big shock. And now it's been 25 years, and I speak to so many parents, you know, and I counsel so many people, and that's the biggest thing that hits the parents first. So we usually tend to think, you know, how the person who's got diabetes, what is going through their mind. Sure, that is also important, but if it's a child, I think the parents need help first, you know, because they are depressed, they're broken, they're very upset.
Definitely. I mean, that's gonna worry any parent. Ki my child is going to get, stuck with a needle every day, every time they're going to eat or drink or whatever. So, I mean, that's only natural for a parent to worry about all of this. But then the seriousness of it, like you explained, now you counsel a lot of parents. So, like, what would you suggest people that, they should not be worried about it? It's still a part of life and you're still doing good.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, now I realize, Meenakshi, that it's easy for me to say that don't worry.
Hmm.
But I also understand, you know, that if I were in their situation, I would be worried and I would be crying or upset or everything. So I
Definitely.
would say that, you know, take your time. It is not easy to accept. I've seen a lot of people who take so many years to accept that they have diabetes. I mean, they have it, but they don't take care of themselves. I went through that phase too. So I would tell the parents or the immediate family that, you know, take some time out for yourself. You grieve that that incident that has occurred. You mourn it if need be, but you get over it. You know,
Hmm.
you start learning how to adjust and getting used to the new normal, because nothing stops your child. I mean, if your child wants to do anything, your child wants to go to the moon, you know, he or she can do that. There's nothing, there's no barrier. Just to give you an example, I run marathons. So I started running because my dad is a runner, and I mean, he runs because he enjoys running. So I would see my father running and I would say, okay, when I want to run because my father's running.
Hmm.
And so our whole family got involved and we would go for, you know, runs together. And in Mumbai, used to have the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon, which is now the Tata Mumbai Marathon. So
Hmm.
we would take part as a family. My father would run the 42 kilometers, and the rest of us, my mom and my sister and me, we would do the dream run,
Hmm.
which is like a 6 kilometer run.
Yeah.
So that's where it all started. And now, you know, since the last so many years, I've been running full marathons, which are 42 kilometers long. In fact, in December 2019, exactly a year ago, I was part of a team called Walking on Insulin. So we were four people with type 1 diabetes, and we were the first team in India to complete 100 kilometers at the Oxfam Trail Walker.
Wow.
So there is literally no barrier. I mean, we were walking for 48 hours straight. We just took breaks for sleeping and eating, and it was in the middle of a forest. And that's it. We just kept walking, and we finished it successfully without any problem.
Oh,
So I
that's
just want to,
wonderful.
yeah, I just want to tell these parents and these families that, you know, diabetes is not going to stop you. You can achieve anything that you want.
Yeah, definitely. Like what you said is that 100 kilometers you walked straight without rest, and you guys were, you had all four of you had type 1 diabetes. So I think a normal person can also not do it if they're going to be lazy and not work for it. So I think, and then you are doing it, and then you also do 42-kilometer marathon. You are also interested in, and you also do mixed martial arts, and then you are into gymming and staying fit and everything. So what do you suggest, those children or people who when get diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, they start limiting themselves. So what would you like
Yes.
to suggest them, and how can they push their limits like you do? How can they do that?
I remember one incident, Meenakshi. There was a boy around 2 or 3 years back. This happened. He was an 8-year-old boy, and I when I was diagnosed, also I was 8. So I automatically felt that connection with him. That I understand. Don't worry.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was 8, and he was I think he was a state level skater, and his parents were very worried that he got diabetes and I don't know what is going to happen. So they said, okay, we're going to stop his skating. I said, please don't stop his skating, because that is if that is the one thing that he's good at and he enjoys it, you must encourage him. Like, and it's not that parents' fears are just coming out of nowhere. So in diabetes, your blood sugar can neither go too high nor too low. So if your blood sugar goes really low, it's called a hypoglycemia, and that can be dangerous. Like if you don't treat a low blood sugar, you can fall down, and worst case scenario, you could die. I mean, the worst case scenario of diabetes and everything is unfortunately that you could die, but that we don't have to focus on that. We just have to know that it is dangerous and we have to take care. So if you treat your low sugar correctly, you will be absolutely fine. Back in 5 or 10 minutes, you will be okay. And the same with high. So a lot of parents have that fear that my child will go low, and then they don't let them play, which I think is really not a good idea, because for a healthy life, exercise is important. And as a child, if you don't play, then when are you going to play and enjoy yourself?
True, true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, already the person, like the kid, is dealing with a lot of these things. Like he already knows that he has a type 1 diabetes and he has to change his life accordingly. But then one thing that he's good at and he loves to do it, if you're going to stop that, then what is he going to live for, to be honest? Like, है ना,
Exactly.
वो चीज भी खत्म कर दोगे आप तो होप ही सारी खत्म हो गई उस बच्चे की. So yeah, that's a beautiful thing, and the way that you counsel all the people and that you took this path, so that is also beautiful because you took a step ahead and a lot of courage to come into this line and then help people understand that it's not as risky as you think, and you have technology and things to cover it up for you, so you
Yeah.
can still be in this. So
You
I'll
know,
come back to that technology part. I
yeah.
would like to ask this, that the whole idea of when you started this Blue Circle Foundation, so when did this idea come into your mind and then you brought it into the journey of bringing it into life, that idea into life, and then the challenges that you faced to start this NGO, because it's not easy to start an NGO and then and making people understand about a disease that is not even visible to the eye. So,
Yes, yes.
yes. So, how was that journey?
Yeah. So, actually, you're so right when you say that it's not even visible, because, like, just like if you look at me, and you will never know that I have diabetes. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not in your, nobody will know. But there are certain things by which, people will come to know that you have diabetes. And unfortunately, in India, to a very large extent, there's a lot of stigma about diabetes. So if you have diabetes, oh my God, ये कैसे हो गया? And ज़्यादा chocolate तो नहीं खाई, and that kind of thing will start. And
Exactly.
already, like, for a family who is very feeling very low and out, that my child got diagnosed, these things, like, normally they may not bother you, but they might bog you down, or they might make you feel more depressed later.
Hmm.
So lot of people, and we tend to think that in small places there is a lot of problem, but that's not true. Even in metro cities, even in tier 2, tier 3 cities, where people are, they're educated, they are working, they still don't understand how it works. And I mean, there are so many types of diabetes. There's type 1, which is not as common, which I have. It's an autoimmune condition, so it didn't happen because I ate chocolates. It just happened because my beta cells of my pancreas, one fine day, they just decided to sort of attack the cells attack themselves, and they stop making insulin. So
Hmm.
because my body doesn't make insulin, I have to take it from outside. That's it.
Yeah.
Then there's type 2, which is more common, and that's more of a lifestyle disorder. So, with age and with not exercising and not eating right, you can develop type 2. And there are other types as well. There's also gestational diabetes, which happens during pregnancy. So, ladies develop diabetes during the period of pregnancy, and then after the baby is born, usually it goes away. But there are a lot of studies nowadays which say that, if you have gestational diabetes, there are 50% chances that you will have type 2 diabetes later in your life. So India, there is a huge problem. There are like 77 million people that are living with diabetes. That is as of 2015, I think, some report that says. And just to give you a perspective of how big that number is, 77 million is pretty much like the entire population of Germany. The
Mm,
whole country itself, that is just the number of diabetics in India. And
yeah.
these are official figures. So if it is official, that means it's probably higher than that. So definitely we have to wake up and take notice. And earlier, I myself didn't bother about my own diabetes that much. I mean, I thought, okay, fine. I mean, I just have to take my injection and that's it, done. And when you're growing up, going to school, college, you're working, you just get so busy with everything and you don't really focus on your health as much. Then about 2 years back, I quit my job. I'd worked for 10 years and I thought, okay, that's it. Now I need to, figure out what to do and how to sort of change direction, because I definitely need to do something. That's when that thing clicked me that something has to be done. And a year ago, we formally registered the NGO. So it's called Blue Circle Diabetes Foundation, and we talk about diabetes awareness and advocacy. So we do things like awareness programs in schools, in colleges, in offices. We run online weekend workshops, which are free, by the way. So anybody, who would like to know something more about diabetes, or to join a community of diabetics is more than welcome to come. We're on all social media as well, because I think these days it's very important to be sort of connected. So, everything from Facebook, Insta, YouTube, I mean, you name it, everywhere we're there. And we just want people to feel like they're not alone, because when you feel like, oh, I have some horrible disease and I'm alone, and no one's going to be my friend, I'm never going to get married, nothing's going to happen. That's not true. There are so many people who are very successful, who are doing amazingly well. They have wonderful families, careers, everything, and they live with diabetes. I mean, if you do one Google search, you'll see so many celebrities and so many public figures who also have diabetes. So we just, the idea was to bring people together on one platform and tell them that don't worry, you're not alone. Like, there are lots of other people like you.
Definitely. And you as you talked that there are many celebrities also that suffer from diabetes, type 1 diabetes and type 2, and they don't like people aren't really aware about all of these things. So, can you name some of the celebrities that are working with you in the Blue Circle Diabetes Foundation so that, our audiences can understand a little more about, who all are in this and they're not alone in it?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So worldwide and even in India, there are a lot of celebrities. We are associated with a couple of them. So I want to also, Meenakshi, tell you about this really exciting thing that we've come up with. We actually started it last year. It's called the Blue Circle Calendar.
Yeah.
And like when you think of calendar, you think of a glamorous photo shoot and like some Kingfisher calendar, some like really hot models or something. So we took that idea of doing a calendar, but instead of having like models, we actually had real people with diabetes, featuring as models in that calendar. So we want to make it like fun and glamorous, and like just doesn't have to be depressing and like stressful. So that was the idea, and we started last year. So last year and then what we do is we sell the calendars to fundraise for the NGO. So all the funds go back to charity and go back to the NGO and running the NGO, and making things happen. So this year as well, we have the Blue Circle Diabetes calendar. And if anyone wants to buy it, they can visit our website or our Instagram or any of our social media pages, and you'll see the link. So we've got model and actress Aishwarya Sakuja, who features on this year's calendar. So she's been a Miss India finalist, and she's been in a lot of TV shows and a lot of reality shows as well. And she lives with type 1 diabetes since the last 2 years. So she's a really awesome girl, and she's agreed to be part of the calendar. So she's one person. Then we've got Megha, who is also a so actually we have two Meghas, which is pretty cool. So one Megha is of course our mutual friend who is an MC and has been a radio jockey, and she's been an amazing achiever in her field. She's such a bubbly and wonderful person.
Definitely
So
is.
she's part of, yeah, so she's also part of the calendar. And she also lives with type 1 diabetes. And then there's Megha Gupta, who's also a model and actress. And she's an entrepreneur as well. So we have a lot of like really amazing and motivating people who are part of this calendar. Then we also have Priyanka Rajiv. She's a fashion designer. She's based in Pune, and she's been really supportive throughout our calendar journey, even last year, even this year. So she also is part of the calendar, and she also lives with type 1 diabetes. So there is no end to the number of motivating stories and amazing people that are there in the community.
Definitely, definitely. The names that you took are all one of the most amazing people that I know, like especially Megha. Like RJ Megha is one of our mutual friends and really fond of her. And she's so bubbly and lively and and she's not worried about that diabetes is gonna stop her.
Yeah,
And again, like you named Aishwarya and Megha Gupta and Priyanka
yeah,
Rajiv, they're all amazing people. So I think this is motivating enough for all the listeners and viewers that if you ever have type 1 diabetes, type 2 diabetes, or any type of diabetes, then you don't have to worry. And plus point here is that you can also connect with the Blue Circle Foundation, which is an NGO started by Nupur Lalwani, and she helps anybody who has a problem with diabetes, be it during pregnancy. You can also understand that during pregnancy and after pregnancy, what are the precautions or things that you can do to, avoid getting type 2 diabetes if you have type 1 diabetes. So all the links to connect with the NGO Blue Circle Foundation, I'll be providing it in the description box below. Do go check it out. So that was, this is very wonderful. But I would like to understand that the challenges that you faced during, starting this NGO, because it's not easy to start an NGO. So
yeah.
that those hurdles that you faced, on your own starting this NGO, you left your job, as you said. So how difficult was it, or the challenges, or the fun, the process? They say is, the most beautiful one. So what were those things that happened?
Very true. So, Meenakshi, when you were saying during our conversation earlier, you were saying that once I have decided to do something, I will just do it, whether anybody says something or not. So, I think we have that in common. Because a lot of people told me, "Yeah, what are you crazy? Like, what is this? मतलब ये क्या vacation है चल रहा है क्या?" But I think it's something I feel for, and I really feel passionately, and I feel like I don't have to prove it to anyone. I'm doing it because I enjoy it, I love it, and I will find a way to make it work. I'm a practical person, and I'm a very real person. I mean, it's not like I can just chillax my whole life. I come from a regular middle class family, so obviously I have to take care of myself and be independent. And I think that's something that I want to tell all the women and the girls who are listening to this and viewing this as well. So at the NGO we run something called Project Gaia. So we realized over the years, my friends and I, that uh, for a woman living with diabetes, the game is completely different. I mean, diabetes is a medical condition. Obviously, you can be a man, you can be a woman, that's fine. But the whole social and cultural implications being a lady in India, particularly, is very different. I mean, there are a lot of expectations. There is this whole thing about, the whole shadi angle. So the focus is more on getting the person married rather than making sure that she's healthy or she's happy.
Yeah.
So there are so many things that we observe, and so we started this thing called Project Gaia, wherein every month, so basically every Sunday we do a workshop online. But once a month we cover a women specific topic. So we pick up topics which usually people might be a little awkward to ask, or they may or may not feel comfortable. So we have spoken about everything from birth control to menstruation to menstrual cups, and whether it is safe for diabetics to use it. Then we've done a session with a psychologist on the power of saying no, because often as ladies, we cannot say no. Koi kuch bol deta and we're like, yeah, yeah, okay, fine, I'll do it.
Hmm.
But sometimes it's very important to draw boundaries. And for a woman with diabetes, I think her first priority should be her health. It is not selfish to take care of your health. It is not wrong, and you are not a bad mother or a bad wife or a bad daughter if you are taking care of your own health. Only if you take care of your health can you take care of other people in your family. So we just want to keep reiterating that because we realize that there's a big problem, at least in this part of the world, in Asia. There's a lot of pressure on women.
Definitely, like you suggested, when the women get pregnant and they get this type 1 diabetes. Now, let's say the families, let's say they support, even if in India, and they're supporting the lady. But the doctors sometimes don't, make you aware that 10 years down the line, you can have the same disease in a worse condition. So, if you don't take care today, you can have a problem tomorrow. So, anything that you would like to suggest to those ladies, a little brief, and then they can connect with you later on. So, any little brief that you can suggest on that?
So, Meenakshi, very recently we had this workshop on gendered nutrition. So, we did this workshop with an endocrinologist, Dr. Tejal Lathia, and we were discussing all these issues that, when a lady is pregnant, सब कोई आते हैं उसको खाना खिलाने के लिए, नहीं नहीं ये घी का लड्डू खाओ, you eat this, you eat that. And what happens is, now imagine it's a non-diabetic lady. She's not
Uh,
diabetic, and you're feeding her so much, like she's eating like three people ka khana just because you want the baby to be healthy, but
uh,
neither will the baby be healthy nor will the mother be healthy, because she may develop gestational diabetes, and B, once the baby is born, usually we ignore the mother. The focus entirely goes on the baby, like the parents, grandparents, everybody, they are just fussing over the kid, and people forget about the mother, and then she's back to either she's working full time or she's working in the kitchen, she's taking care of the house, she's putting on weight, and all of these factors are risk factors for type 2 diabetes. So
hmm.
what I would suggest in one sentence is that don't neglect your health, because tomorrow if you develop something, we know of a lot of cases wherein, I mean, I'm not being negative, but if you don't take care, you can have problems with your eyes, with your kidneys, with your heart, with anything. Diabetes is not going to say, okay, this is a lady, let her be. No, the game is same for everyone, and we have to go through it. So keep check on your weight. Don't end up putting on a lot of weight. Keep a good lifestyle, take care, eat healthy, and even though you may have a baby, take out a little bit of time to exercise whenever your gynac tells you it's okay to start exercising. Definitely go back and spend that 30 to 60 minutes every day on exercise.
Definitely. Like exercising, I think for diabetic or non-diabetic, pregnant or non-pregnant is very necessary. And then yoga comes in the picture. Like they say you can do yoga even if you're not super healthy. You can still do some exercises from the yoga. And then definitely connect with the Blue Circle Foundation and with the Noopur Lalwani here, because Noopur can help you understand the each and every minute details of it, because she has been doing it for like quite a long time now. So
Yeah.
congratulations on that again, Nooper, because this is something really good that you're doing, and it's quite beneficial for spreading awareness and also getting help for the people who might not even know that they need help sometimes.
Correct. And Meenakshi, on that note, I also want to tell you about our helpline. So we
Yeah.
run a free helpline. It's called the Buddy Project, and it's available on the Blue Circle Diabetes app. So if you go to Google Play or you go to App Store, on both Apple and Android, both it's available. You can download the Blue Circle Diabetes app. Once you open the app, you go to Buddy Project, and in Buddy Project, you will see options of different volunteers. So all of these volunteers, the beauty is that they are all trained. They're trained by the Center for Mental Health, Law and Policy, and they're trained by Chelaram Diabetes Institute. So these are top institutes with regards to mental health and diabetes. And these 12 people are actually people who live with diabetes every day. So they are not somebody who are just coming to give gyan, but they themselves have the experience of living through this condition. So we have people living with type 1, with type 2, we have caregivers, and you can basically, based on who you feel comfortable with, we also speak 9 different languages. So you have a big collection to choose from, whichever language you feel comfortable, you can select that person. You can schedule a call with them, and you can have that call on the app itself. This is completely free and voluntary, and I'm really grateful to all the people who are volunteering their time and effort to make this happen. So definitely we are here for you. If you have diabetes, if any you guys are watching this and you feel like I don't want to disclose it openly that I have diabetes, don't worry, the helpline is completely confidential. And whatever you discuss with your buddy, we like to call it as dia buddy, because like diabetes buddy. So
Yeah.
whatever you discuss with your dia buddy is completely confidential. It's between you and them. So feel free to reach out for help. And I think this is a very common thing, but it's really true. It's okay not to be okay. Like it's fine if you're not fine also. People with diabetes, they are 2 to 3 times more prone to suffer from depression or any other mental health issues. And during lockdown, we have seen a lot of cases wherein people have panic attacks and anxiety attacks. They have all kinds of issues are coming up, which previously may or may not have been there. So, don't worry. The community is there with you, and it's a non-judgmental and it's a safe space where you can, come and share your. Even if you think it's this very stupid thing and it's a very small thing, we are there to listen.
Definitely, and at least go check it out. Maybe if it's not you, somebody who can benefit from this, and somebody you think, the symptoms, like Nupur told before, the symptoms that she discussed. So if you see somebody having those symptoms, you can talk to them and you can, tell them about it. You can share this with them, because if somebody benefits, that's what we aim for, Nupur and I here. All the links will
Definitely.
be in the description box below. Do go check them out. So, Nupur, I went through your social media, and I saw a lot of work that you were doing, and not just, across the social media, the words that you have been giving, the advices that you have been doing, the work that you have been doing. And there are many pictures where I saw that you have this small device on your arm and also on your tummy. So, what
Yeah.
are, yeah, this one, exactly. So, what are these devices and how often do you wear it? And, who all need to know about it? So, you need to,
Yes.
also tell us about it and help us to understand more about this device.
Definitely. And thanks for asking, because sometimes, I also forget, like there are so many things to say, and I
True,
don't even know where to
true,
begin.
true, true.
So this thing on my arm, this device here, I mean, this blue thing that you see is actually a tape, so you can ignore that part. This thing is called a meow meow. It sounds like a cat just came, but that's the name of the device. And iske niche there's another device. It's a round white device like a 5 rupee coin. So that is called the Libre Pro. So I'll tell you what it does. So the Libre Pro is basically a flash glucose monitor, which is a system wherein you inject that device onto your skin. So if you look at my arm, it will look like there is a circular white object stuck onto my arm, and there's a small filament which goes in my body. Now, what that filament does, and it doesn't pain. Once it's on my arm, it's fine. What the filament does is it continuously gives me my blood sugar reading. So that is the amazing part about technology. That few years back, none of these things existed, and now it's really making the lives of diabetics very easy. So this can be used by type 1, type 2, gestational, any diabetics, whoever wants to have a good control and a good analysis of every minute by minute blood sugar. They can definitely try this out. And this device that I was mentioning, the Meow Meow, this basically is a transmitter which is placed on top of the Libre sensor, and it converts the flash glucose monitor into a continuous glucose monitor. So, Meenakshi, as I'm speaking to you right now, my one eye is on my blood sugar. On my phone on the side, I can see my blood sugar is 106 right now.
Wow,
So that
cool.
is the amazing part. I mean, I don't have to worry that is it going too low, is it going too high. I know I'm stable. I'm in a good range, and that, I think that shows on my face also. Like if my blood sugar went too low, maybe I would become a little cranky or small things, but you can make out that something is wrong. So this is a really great boon. The second device which I would like to show is an insulin pump that I wear. So this is what the pump looks like. And an insulin pump is basically, it looks like a small pager, and it's a small computerized device by which the insulin can be injected in the body. So there are three ways of injecting insulin. The first way is with a syringe. A normal old school जो पुराने जमाने में syringe लगती थी, जो अभी भी use होती है, the same
हाँ.
thing. So that is the first way, and I've used that for 20 years. And for a person with diabetes, there is no other option. Whether we like it or not, we have to take insulin. So we have to use one of the three methods.
Yeah.
That is first. The second is insulin pens, which they basically look like a pen from outside. So if you're sitting in a restaurant or something, you just open your pen and you take your injection. People might not even realize what you have done. You have taken your insulin. So it's very discreet. Of course, some of us are very proud and happy to show off our syringe also outside. So we don't mind people asking. In fact, we are happy to educate them that this is what it is and these are kinds of diabetes. And the third type of insulin delivery machine is this one. So it's not that one is better than the other. They all three have their pros and cons, and you can pick whichever works according to your lifestyle and convenience and budget. So there's a tube here that you can see, and this tube, it goes into my skin, and there's a small infusion set or a small patch which is on my body. So you can use your tummy or your back, and you just inject it. There's a small plastic needle that goes inside, and it stays inside, and it does not pain. So right now also that we are talking, that it is on my body. It's on my body for 24 hours, except when I'm bathing. At that time, I remove it. And so before I eat, I have to take insulin. So what I do is, then I kind of go into my pump, and I can feed in my blood sugar. So I can check my sugar on my phone. Okay, I'm 106, and then I will decide what am I eating. Am I eating an omelette? Okay, fine. So then I have to know that how many carbs are there in one omelette. So these things are all learning, for a person with diabetes. How do you calculate the carbs in the food? How do you calculate the proteins and the fats? And then I enter it into this, and then it suggests me a dose based on the information that I have entered. And then I can take my insulin. So basically, I'm taking an injection.
Wonderful. I mean, this is so cool. Like, you can do a lot of things with this. Like, sometimes what happens is, like, in my family also, I have my Mausaji who suffers from, diabetes, and sometimes his blood sugar gets so low. Once I was in the house alone with him, and it got so low that, he couldn't even speak out ki mujhe na toffee de do. So he just,
Uh,
when I came near him, and I did not know that this was happening to him because he never speaks out or talks about it a lot. So he asked me to fridge se jaldi se do toffee le aa mere liye. So I brought the toffees, and he just took it in, and his blood sugar level got a little more, and he was too worried about things, and so that happened, and blood sugar went low. So took in the chocolate, and it was fine. But then if you have this monitor all the time on your body, and you have this thing attached to you, so you can decide on it. You don't have to depend on somebody else as well. Like abhi मेरे को ब्लड शुगर लेवल कम लग रहा है, सो आई कैन पंप इन द इंसुलिन माई सेल्फ बाय टेलिंग कि मुझे कितना क्या चाहिए है, and I can take in the things that I want to take and eat properly, and so this is like pretty cool technology that I think a lot of people got to know something new here through the show. Yay.
yeah. Meenakshi, so apart from this or from the pump, there is no visible sign of me having diabetes. And that too,
Hmm.
if I go out on the road right now, most of the people don't know what this is. So they might think, "Acha, pata nahi kya hai." They might just ignore it. I have had people on the road come up to me and ask me, "Beta, हाथ पे कुछ लगा है, निकालो
हाँ.
देखो." So it's very funny because I mean, I really enjoy it when people come and talk to me, because I feel like this is a chance to educate them. And if I didn't have diabetes, even I would not know, what are these things. So
True.
it's fine. They are ignorant, but it's our job to tell them what is what.
Yeah, definitely. And thank you so much for sharing this with us, for educating us with all this knowledge about diabetes that I think a lot of us don't have, to be honest. So, and a
Yes.
very good job there by Blue Circle Foundation together and all the celebrities that are joining in for free to, help us all understand more about these things that we don't really, we don't just know about it because हमें नहीं है तो हमें नहीं पता है, हम ध्यान नहीं देते. Sometimes this happens, right?
Very true, very true. And often what happens is like, even if you know that मेरे family में किसी को diabetes है, my parents have, someone has, you think it's okay, nothing will happen to me. But then, eventually, if you don't take care, things can happen. So it's good to be aware and to know it right now.
Definitely. And to take the necessary precautions, like you talked, that type 2 diabetes can happen to anybody, if they are not having a healthy lifestyle. So I think this is also something, if you are even healthy and you don't have diabetes right now, you still need to take precautions and, get your lifestyle on better track so that you don't get diabetes next in your life.
Correct. And type 1 diabetes is not preventable, so we can't do anything about it. If it comes, it comes. You just accept it graciously. But with type 2, like Meenakshi said, there's definitely a scope to avoid it completely. And if you get it in the early stages, your doctor can help you reverse it as well.
Definitely. And here, Nupur here is again there to help you understand all the things about it in detail. So I think I covered all the knowledge that I could. If there's something else, Nupur, that you would like to add about diabetes or anything that you would like to share about your foundation, please let us know.
Sure. I would just like to tell people that, a lot of people, till they don't connect with the community, they feel like I am burdened, like there is some big, heavy thing on my shoulders and I have to carry it alone. You do not have to carry it alone. We are there with you. And you might not realize now, but when you get connected with the community, automatically you can share your joys and sorrows, and it really makes a difference. And it's not necessary that you have to be a extrovert or you have to be a people's person. You can be quiet or shy or whatever it is, but I would strongly encourage, if you live with diabetes or if you know somebody in your family who lives with diabetes, do check out what Blue Circle Diabetes Foundation does, and stay connected, either through social media. We have WhatsApp groups, whatever it is that you feel comfortable with. It's just a community and we're all here to give back. So whenever you feel comfortable, then it'll be your turn to give back to the community. So that's how it works.
Definitely, definitely. And so do join in the Blue Circle community. And I think, and do share it with the people who you think can benefit from it, because that's also equally important if you help somebody through it.
Yeah, absolutely true.
So, Nupur, coming towards the travel part now. So, I would like to know that through your work, or like throughout your life, work or not work, how many places have you traveled? And can you share with us some travel experiences that are not limited to sightseeing?
Yeah. So I'm very excited, Meenakshi, when you told me about this travel part, the segment of the question, I first sat and thought for a few minutes, oh God, like now with COVID and everything, travel to ho hi nahi raha hai kuch bhi, but I remember a really fun experience that I want to share with you. So this was, I think, around maybe 6 to 7 years ago, and I'm very fond of trains. So I really enjoy, studying about trains and knowing the routes and where they go. And I enjoy train journeys because bachpan se, like, that's the one memory that, you have. So even if there's a flight, I would much rather take a train than a flight. So with that, I happened to read about this one train called the Vivek Express, which is the longest train journey in India, and I think it's the eighth longest train journey in the world. I believe I don't remember for sure, but it's one of the longest train journeys that is possible. And I instantly decided. I mean, the sense of adventure was always there, so I thought, "Chalo, I have to do this." And so I discussed it with my family and I said, and they thought, okay, fine, I keep coming up with crazy plans. So this is another one, it'll just blow away. But I really wanted to do it. So I made a plan, I took leave, I did everything. And then my parents asked me, okay, who are you going with? So I said, well, I didn't think about that because I wanted to go. So I made the plan. And they said, no, no, you asked your friends and all. And I asked all my friends, and everyone said, like, listen, you're crazy because who spends 5 days on a train? Like if you want to travel somewhere, we'll come with you, but we don't want to spend 5 days on a train. And for me, that was the main thing. So it was really funny, and finally, I managed to take the trip with a at the time I didn't know her. She was a stranger to me, and now of course we are very good friends. So a girl called Ankita, who was a friend's friend. So we did the train trip together. It started in Dibrugarh, which is in Assam, and it ended in Kanyakumari. So one corner of India to the other extreme corner, and we spent 5 days on that train, and it was absolutely crazy and absolutely fun. Two crazy girls who've never met before, spent those 5 days. And after that, when we got off at Kanyakumari, we went our separate ways because, I had limited leaves. So I wanted to get back quickly. So I did my solo trip from there on, and she did hers. So I think I covered a lot of beautiful places that I'd never been to before. At everywhere from Assam to Pondicherry to Kerala, and it also gave me some confidence in the sense that women traveling by themselves, or doing making such plans is usually not really the norm. I mean, I think that's why, Meenakshi, what you're doing is also really awesome. I really really love the concept, and it's so cool, um, we've lived our lives, we know what is what, and still we take that decision. And like you were saying earlier, that it takes courage, to do these things. So I think it so I think some part of me there also had that I did my solo trip, and it was a really kick-ass trip. So yeah,
Wonderful.
that
And
yeah.
as you mentioned, Dibrugarh, Assam, and then Kanyakumari, like that's a very long route. And you said you stayed 5 days in the train. So the adventures of the train, I would like to know the adventures that you had for 5 days in the train. What did you guys do? How did you guys, pass the time? Like you don't have much network when you're on the train as well because you're on the outskirts of the cities. So, and the view, how was the view from north to south, man? I want to know all of that.
Beautiful. I mean, so much difference. I can't believe this whole thing is one country, and we've not even seen like the whole thing. It's just, one
Exactly.
train journey. So amazing. I feel so blessed that, we're part of such a diverse country with so many people. And, what joins us? I mean, it's not language, it's not food, it's like everywhere there are different things, but it was really amazing. So, the one thing that we kept doing on loop was have chai, because like bus her every time the chai wala would come, we would say okay, we want chai. And in Assam, there's this thing called lal cha or lal chai.
Acha.
So it's basically like kali chai with a little bit of nimbu and something, and it's really tasty and it's really nice, and it's like water. So even my blood sugar levels weren't really going up or anything. I was having so many chais with my friend. So we did that, and we spoke a lot, like we'd never met before. So we went from being strangers to suddenly, like, talking about the randomest parts of our lives with each other. I mean, we spoke about work, we spoke about relationships, we spoke about everything. And I think we also realized that, like there was so much of banter going on. In fact, I want to also tell you. So when we were in Assam, we spent like I think a day or two in Assam, and we made friends with this local band in Assam. They were like a really cool Assamese band,
Wow.
and so there were like two girls and two or three guys, and they have this beautiful the mekla, the sari kind of thing that they wear, and all of this was so new to me because I had never seen it. And then they performed somewhere. So they told us, "You guys have to come along and cheer us." And we made friends along the way, and things were amazing. Of course, we had to keep in mind safety and security. That cannot be ignored. And at some point late night in the train, there was some kind of fight going on, or somebody was drunk or something. So we were worried. So it was not like all rosy and all smooth. But I think overall it was a wonderful trip. And even when I was traveling alone, I think it was wonderful. I mean, if any woman is watching this and she really is debating, should I do it or not? Look at, I mean, I have this one trip that I did, and I'm sure Meenakshi's done hundreds like these. I think you can totally do it. I think it's best to kind of go out there and explore the world after COVID, of course.
COVID has changed a lot of
Yeah.
plans.
Actually, I used to do is I used to plan my holidays around, so because I enjoy running, I used to kind of sit with a map and sit with a what do you call a timetable of all the races that are happening in India. And then I would sit,
Yeah.
acha, theek hai, where is my chutti? Okay, fine. Which place have I not gone? Chalo, let's plan a trip. So there was a Chennai marathon couple of years ago. I went to Chennai. And so I planned my holiday in such a way that I also run. And if it happens to be solo, fine, so be it. I came to Delhi a couple of years ago. I think this was 2012 or 13. And people told me you can't go solo in Delhi. It's not safe. I said, no, nothing doing. I'm going for a run. There will be thousands of people. So it was really enjoyable, sort of doing it this way as well, planning my runs and planning locations that I've not visited before.
Definitely, definitely. Like you said, thousands of people in Delhi. You're never alone in Delhi, to be honest. Like this one time, there was this new station, metro station that they built, and my brother dropped me there. Like I had to go to work. I used to use the metros because the roads are, in the morning and evening. So I used the metro and I went into that station. Now that was a completely new station for me. I follow the regular path, and now this is completely new. So now there I am solo because there's nobody. But then there are thousands of other people from Delhi. So what I did was I followed the crowd and I reached my destination following the crowd.
Um, that's
Yeah.
really awesome.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy to, the crowd could go anywhere, but then it just happened that the crowd was going the same destination that I was choosing. So like awesome.
Exciting.
Yeah, so it's not dangerous everywhere in the world is dangerous. If you say America, even that is dangerous. So you have to plan it accordingly. Like, don't go out on unoddly hours, then otherwise keep a backup friend in every place. So yeah, but then it's awesome. You can plan adventurous things. You shouldn't stop yourself.
And I was taking because from the two of us, I was the diabetic, so I was taking my injection on the train, and at that
Yeah,
point, I was using syringes. And usually, when people see syringes, they tend to think that are you doing drugs? Obviously, I'm not doing drugs. I mean, insulin is a drug, but it keeps me alive. So, like, please,
yeah.
So those were really funny and exciting things that happened. You know, but I think definitely everyone should, also like I was looking at your page, Meenakshi, such beautiful locations and such beautiful places you've gone to. I mean, everywhere from Uttarakhand to, I don't know, like such awesome places. There's so much to be seen in the world, and we just need that inspiration.
So, any other travel experience that you would like to share with us? And one more thing I would like to tell people that next time somebody's taking an injection in front of you, it could be two things, a drug or an insulin drug. So, don't judge it by the cover.
Actually, friend and me, so this friend of mine called Snehal, and we've gone a couple of times out for parties or to clubs, and we would do this just for fun, to use our syringe out in the party. I mean, if we have to take an injection, you have to take it, and then people get a little scandalized. So I mean, you just have to own it and don't be afraid and don't feel that stigma or that fear, and just kind of live your life in the best way possible.
Have fun with what you have, actually. I mean, that's amazing. You get people curious, especially in the
Correct.
parties. So, that's fun too.
Yeah. So the second experience, Meenakshi, I think I would like to maybe talk about is the one trip I did with my dad when I was really young. I was about 7 or 8 years old, and my sister was newly born at that time. So my mom and my sister couldn't travel with us, but my father and I thought we'll go anyway. So we'll have some dad and daughter time, and we went to the north to different places. We went to the Lakshman Jula, like you're talking about your experience, and we did a lot of random trips to nowhere. Like it was so much fun because usually you're at home, or you're in school or college or running, and you tend to forget that you can relax and have fun even with your parents. I mean, it doesn't always have to be friends or
Exactly.
doesn't have anything. In fact, I did another trip a few years ago with my sister. So we did a sister trip to Rajasthan, which was really, really awesome. We went to Pushkar and Jaipur and Jodhpur, and Rajasthan's also a beautiful place.
Definitely it is. And all the Rajwada of that place, like there's so many royal families there. They're still there. So you have people you can actually, try to connect with them and then have a royal dinner sometime. Maybe
Yeah,
that could be adventurous too.
absolutely.
Yeah. So what I try is like हर जगह पे जाके I try to wear the traditional dresses. So like if I'm in the north तो दार्जिलिंग में मैंने वो चाय वाली ड्रेस पहनी है. When I'm in राजस्थान मैंने वो ऐसे वो चूड़ा उड़ा पहनते हैं ना वो वाली ड्रेस पहनी है. So
Wow.
I keep doing that. So I have shared that on my Instagram as well.
I'm just so excited, to and looking at your page, I also feel like I am traveling along. Just seeing the posts and the photos makes me feel like I am there.
Thank you. I'm so glad I could do that.
Yeah.
So, like you were talking about COVID changing your plans of traveling, as you said. So, what are the plans did COVID change for your foundation or the work that you were doing for the diabetics? And, you were trying to counsel people, you were going into seminars, you're also a speaker. So, how did you, those COVID change your plans and how did you manage to, adapt to them?
So I think I'm a very hardy person in the sense that like if somebody pushes me down, I just like bounce back. I might take my time, I might complain, I might cry, but I will definitely bounce back. So that's what happened with COVID. Like initially we felt like, oh God, now up to sab band ho gaya. Like we can't go to schools, we can't go to corporates, we can't have these seminars, we can't so many things. We can't meet our friends every month in our different chapters in so we have a chapter in Delhi, we have a chapter in Pune, Mumbai, Hyderabad, everywhere. Our friends would gather and we would do these, like a morning jog or something fun like that together. We would sometimes meet for chai or coffee. So all that stopped, and it was really, I mean, it was stressful at first, but later we came up with this wonderful idea where we did online workshops. So we do it on our own platform, which is Blue Circle Workshops. It's very similar to Zoom, and basically what happens is we do educational workshops also, and we do fun recreational workshops. So this Sunday we have a like a year end party. So we have one of our Dia buddies, Ketki, who's a dance teacher. So she's going to teach us some nice moves, and we're all going to be in our houses and safe and social distance, but we're all going to dance together.
Awesome. That
So
sounds
sometimes
wonderful.
yeah, sometimes we do that. Sometimes we have doctors on board where they teach us about how to take care of our eyes or our kidneys or different diabetes related topics. Sometimes we have psychologists, and because even the mental health aspect of living with diabetes is really important. So this is how we've tried to be connected. And the beautiful part is that Meenakshi, earlier we were like sort of more physically like, okay, if I'm in this city, then I'll search for people around me. But now, because of COVID, we have Blue Circle members from everywhere, from Jammu to Cochin to like Mao in Madhya Pradesh to Kolkata. I mean, you name it, every place. Literally, there's somebody who's sort of associated with us and is part of the community. So that is
Awesome.
really wonderful. And even if they miss this one, literally, Meenakshi, every Sunday कुछ ना कुछ है. मतलब या
Wow.
तो we sometimes have a Zumba class just for fun,
Wow.
or sometimes we have a women specific topic. So
Hmm.
doesn't have to be diabetes, doesn't have to be, it can be anything. If you feel it is interesting, you can keep an eye on the social media pages, and then you can join in anytime.
Definitely, definitely. I for one will keep an eye on all the activities that you're going to do, and I'm going to join in. Like I love Zumba. Dancing is
Wow.
also again one thing that I love to do a lot. It's now coming towards the end of the interview. Um, that one last message that you would like to give to our listeners and viewers.
I think the one message I would like to give is that listen to your body, take care of your health, because you can party all you want and you can go for as many weddings and parties and Diwali parties or whatever it is, but you have only one life and only one body, so take care of it. And even if you are 60 or 70, there's no excuse. You should still be fit. And it's not difficult. I mean, you don't have to be a bodybuilder or you don't have to be a Miss India. You can be a normal person and still be very fit and very healthy, because I think if your health is in good control and you're taking care of yourself, everything else will follow.
Definitely. And you don't have to be scared of diabetes. Noopur is going to help you in every step that you're going to take with if you have diabetes or not have diabetes. If you want any knowledge about diabetes, do go check out the Blue Circle app and their website. I'll be providing all the links on the description box below. So, Nupur, this was an amazing session. Thank you so much for, giving us a lot of knowledge and throwing so much light on this topic that we did not know about. Really, really thankful that you came to our show and really glad that I could meet you. Thank you so much for coming on Inspiring Explorers.
It's my pleasure, Meenakshi. Thank you so much for having me, and that too, it's such a short notice. I mean, I think you're doing great work, and I hope we can take a trip together soon someday. I'm really looking
Definitely.
forward to that, and
Me too.
really encourage my friends also to check out your page and all the awesome places that you've visited, and it'll give all of us inspiration and some kind of goals to plan a bucket list, a travel bucket list.
Let's do that. So,
Yeah.
this was Noper's inspiring life journey so far and some amazing travel experiences. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. You can support the Blue Circle Diabetes Foundation by buying their products or by sharing this episode as much as you can to support us spread awareness about diabetes so that people living with diabetes don't have to limit themselves or worry about being alone because we are here in this together. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're listening to this episode on Spotify, please follow. And if on Apple Podcasts, then please do subscribe and please leave a review about the show because it helps me bring you more awesome episodes. This is Meenakshi Srivastava, your host for Inspiring Explorers, saying goodbye. See you next week with an amazing, inspiring interview. Till then, take care.